Welcome to Red Effects, the place for newbies, indies, as well as low budgeters. How are you guys doing? Good? That's good. Let's roll the request box right out. Epic MT asked us to show how you can shoot up from the ground to the sky. I've decided to take this effect a bit further, and therefore we are going to be embarking from this episode on a 2-episode journey, or an arc as you could call it. The first episode, which is this one, is going to be covering the actual Takeoff effect, and my main inspiration of that comes from Man of Steel. And the second episode is going to be taking something that no other YouTube channel has ever done a tutorial on, as far as I know, which is that supercharged thing Superman does in Man of Steel, where he puts his fist in the ground and all the rocks and the dust rotates, and it's epic and Zack Snyder-y. But that's next week. Once again, we're working with the great people over at Production Crate. They create amazing, high quality stock footage, as well as some really cool sound effects, sound design, music, and some really other cool stuff that you definitely should check out. So, go to the description, click on the link to the website, and definitely check them out. If you want to know more on how you can get yourself a free account or a really affordable premium paid account, then definitely click that link up there, whichever side it is on, because I always get confused about that. That'll take you to my explosion tutorial, in which I explain a bit more in detail about the different accounts that you can create and how you can download some really cool free elements as well as some paid ones. Okay, moving on to footage. When you shoot your footage, you're going to want to do so on a tripod, just to ensure that the camera does not move between that as well as the clean plate that you also have to record. All you have to do is just jump into the air in a flying Superman like pose, or hell, I don't even care what you do as long as you jump into the air, and then you'll land back on the ground, lie on the floor for a while crying because you realize you can't fly, then walk off screen and let the camera roll for a bit so you can get a clean plate. It's very simple. All the assets I use, which includes the ground cracks, the sand shock waves, the debris, as well as the dirt on the lens type of thing, all come from Production Crate, and I'll leave the link to that again in the description of this video. So download all those elements, jump into Hitfilm, and I'll see you there. Okay, here we are in Hitfilm 4 Express. Wait a second. Can you smell that? A new version. Hitfilm Express 2017 is here, and we will be officially switching over to it, so if you haven't downloaded the new version, now is the time to do it. So go, I'll wait. I'm kidding, do that on your own time. But let's move along. Here I have my main shot as well as a clean plate that starts at the point at which I'm the highest in the air. So at that point, let's split our main clip and then search for and add the speed effect to it. We can then set that amount to 0. That way, we jump and then freeze in mid-air. We're basically creating a freeze frame. Next step is masking. Let's grab that mask tool and cut ourselves out of the shot. You don't have to be extremely precise because of the motion blur we'll be adding later, but try to be as close as you can without turning into Picasso or something. Right, once that's done, let's turn on keyframing for its position, head forward say about 3 or 4 frames, and then drag your clip up and away out of the frame. Turn on motion blur for your clip, and that's the main effect done. Now we just need to sugarcoat this sucker. First, the build up before the effect is a bit too long. So let's right click that section, click on speed and duration, and then set it to 200%. We can then head to the effects panel and search for the motion blur effect and drop it onto that clip. You can also reposition the rest of the clips in your timeline so that there are no gaps in between them. Righto, now comes the fun part. In the media panel, I've imported all the stock footage that I mentioned a few minutes ago. So let's start with the dust. I'll head forward until I'm 1 frame after the main effect takes place. Then I'll drag in 2 clips. Sand Shockwave CI front and back. Now this is one file, but split into 2. The CI stands for comp in, and it's a really nifty and clever idea that they've come up with over a Production Crate. Basically, you place the front clip in your timeline, your footage beneath that, whatever it is, and the back clip beneath your footage. That way it surrounds your clip and cuts out the need for rotoscoping any more than you have to. If I move these up, you'll see what I mean. So that's really cool. Anyway, let's just position those at the takeoff area. Then for preference sake, I'll speed them both up to 200% using the same method as before. You can then fine tune the color by using the curves and tint effects to match your scene. This will be different for you and your footage, so I'll just do this for my clip and you can adjust it for yours. Next up is ground cracks. These two clips work the same way as the sand shockwaves, i.e. comp ins. So let's set their blend modes to overlay and place them in the correct position. You can then go ahead and color correct them to match your scene using the same methods as before. Okay, next up is debris. Let's drag the clip into our timeline, position it, and once again color correct it to match. As well as speed it up so it's a bit more impactful. As you can see guys, this effect basically consists of layering stock footage and blending them into your particular scene. Do that correctly and it'll look amazing. Two optional extras that I added was the smoke shockwave with a trail, which I composited in the same way as the debris. As well as this dirt on lens footage, which you just have to place on top of all of your other clips as it's pre-animated and ready to go. Okay, last step. Let's select all of our layers and make them into a composition. I'll call mine outside underwear. That seems good. Then we'll head up to the effects panel and search for and apply the shake effect. At the start of the clip, set the amount to 0 and turn on keyframing. Head forward about 3 frames and set it to, let's say, 20. Then move forward a few seconds and set it back down to 0. But you can always play around with the numbers and the timing to match your shot. But that's it. Turn on motion blur for that comp and you should end up with something that looks a bit like this. And that is how you become the son of Krypton. Or the daughter. I don't know. But before I wrap this video up, I just want to discuss a small little thing. A lot of you guys are wondering why I didn't make a video about Hitfilm Express 2017 since I clearly know about it. And that's because I really didn't feel a need to. There are like 50 videos out right now by various people discussing the 6 changes to Hitfilm Express 2017. I'm excited about the new version. I've downloaded it and I encourage you guys to download it. But to dedicate a whole video just to list 6 changes to a program or a few more, some people might want to do that and I have no problem with them doing it. I watched some of those videos, but for me to do it, I really felt I had more engaging content to do for my channel. Again, I'm not throwing any shade at any person who did a video on that because we need to have videos like that, but with them making such good videos about it, why should I? But if you guys really want me to list those changes, then here you go. 4K projects, export queue, JNL cuts, light swords, auto video and audio sync. There you go, you're informed. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to hit me up on my social medias, which is on screen right now, like it always is, and in the description of this video. I want to say a big thank you to the good, fine people over at Production Crate who have sponsored this video. They make amazing stuff, guys. You have to check them out, as well as their YouTube channel, because they also have some really cool tutorials for all sorts of programs, even some Hitfilm ones. So I'll leave the link to that in the description as well. And that wraps up this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and stay tuned for the next one. We'll be creating even some more amazing Man of Steel action. And until that, I will see you in the next video.